Hello world, hello John. I was planning that this video was going to be something light and funny. I even went so far as to film a great deal of what needed filmed last Thursday. Then I woke up at 5 a.m. Friday morning. There was no reason to wake up that early. I had stayed up fairly late. I'm not a night owl, but it was still more like midnight when I fell asleep. Newly conscious, I did what I always do. I checked my phone. Mainly, this is for restarting whatever show I'd been watching to put me to sleep so it can do it again. But I had a message notification. It was from my friend Nick. Before even seeing the text, my heart sunk. Nick is my good friend, Trevor's wife. Trevor had terminal cancer, so a super early message like that could mean very bad news. She'd messaged me a mere 3 minutes prior to my waking up. I tried not opening it. I tried to hide from what was in that message, but I couldn't, and I did look. And it was exactly what I was afraid of. The wonderful, truly good person that was Trevor had passed away. Trevor had had this cancer since the day I met him years ago. He never let it beat him. He overcame so many things that would have taken him that I started to think he'd just power through it. Knowing how silly of a thought that was, I think it was just my personal outrage that someone so pure of heart, generous, thoughtful, selfless could be subjected to this. Now, I could sit here and tell you all the ways that Trevor was a great man, like how he was a devoted husband to his wonderful wife, doing everything he possibly could to make her life easier and less stressful, as much as he could. Or how time after time he sets his own personal interests and desires aside to help others in his life. But I would be here for hours, and I'm just not sure if I could get through it all without breaking down. It'll be a miracle if I can finish writing this and reading it to you now without breaking down. Instead, I want to reflect on just one of the 1,000 things that demonstrated what a wonderful person he was. Last year, when we bought the house and started moving several days earlier than what we had planned, I put an all-call on Facebook to find anyone who could help us. A few responded to the call, and one of them was Trevor. Yeah, the same guy who had been fighting his cancer for many years at that point. I knew better than to tell him not to tell him that it could hurt him, that it could just make him sick. He would just brush it off because part of his own drive was to remain active. When he did arrive, I made as much of an effort as I possibly could to stop him from overworking himself, but after a little while I noticed something. I realized that Trevor was doing his best to stop me from overworking myself. Trevor was more worried about my pain than his own pain. I've never met a person more selfless than Trevor. I was able to spend some time with him over the last few months. He was in hospice care, and once I got over my own fear and my own guilt, I finally went to see him, and I did so as often as I could. In the end, I feel like I didn't see him enough. Trevor was a perfect example of a good human being. Trevor was a gift to this world. The lives of the people who knew him were enriched by his presence. Viewers, I want to ask you one favor. If you have the ability, please donate your time and your money to any cancer research charities. Cancer takes the lives of 600,000 people a year. Cancer takes parents, children, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, grandparents, friends, spouses. It doesn't care what kind of person you are. It takes and takes without remorse. It won't go without a fight. So for Trevor, for yourself, for your family, help us in the fight to find a cure. I'll include links to some cancer research charities in the comments. For now, I need to go back to distracting myself. I've only barely glimpsed the depths of my grief. I'm not ready to take it head on. That's all I got, John. Go, sleep. We'll talk soon.